the situation with Skenes. Instead of giving the Pirates credit for drafting the right guy and then not screwing him up, which they've done with Henry Davis and they've done with countless other top picks, he is actually, as crazy as this sounds, exceeded the already sky-high expectations for him. Mm-hmm. He is not living up to them. He's going well past them. Mm-hmm. So instead of the Pirates getting a round of applause for actually getting something right and it working here, it's the opposite. People feel like they're going to waste this guy. And I got to be honest with you. For as much as I'd love to sit here and say, well, like, you can hold your horses or calm down or not allow yourself to get too worked up about this, I can't. I have nothing in the way of pacifying or placating or soothing the concerns of fans who are like, what's going to end up happening here, instead of enjoying Paul Skenes' brief Pirates career, we're going to lament the fact that we had this generational talent who was amazing here, and we're going to end up with nothing but his individual hardware to show for it, and being able to tell our kids and grandkids years from now that we got to watch him pitch here for a handful of years.
I don't think any of that's incorrect.
Right. And Jason,
I really have nothing to say.
Jason basically wrote that, and the problem with that opinion from my vantage point is that it's so right, it really defeats the purpose of many of the conversations we have on this show, which is to have a two-way back and forth and to get all the opinions in on it, because I don't really think there's another one out there. I don't think anybody actually feels like, well, hold on, guys, look at their minor league system and get this. They're actually going to make the big trade or make the big free agent signings that are going to quell all of the fan freakout that's gone on really ever since they collapsed over the final 2 months of the season.
You know what kind of frustrated me as you say all this? I started to think, because I feel the same about it. You know what bugs me more? They did more, promotions maybe is not the right word, but there's a more comprehensive prize pack given out or put on the line by the Pirates for that card, that one-of-one card.
One-of-one autograph, okay.
There's more of this comprehensive, these are all the things you will get if you get the card, and essentially, I assume turn it into them, exchange it with them instead of sell it on the open market. Then I have faith there will be a plan to build an actual baseball team around him. Does that make sense? The basic premise here? They've got this very well thought out season tickets for 30 years.
Why do they even want that card? Are they going to house it in PNC Park? Are they planning on giving it to Skenes?
That thought occurred to me, too. They feel that it has great monetary value, but would they give all that away to get the card in their possession and then go sell it at auction?
That's what I don't understand.
They would look ridiculous if they did that. They're not like a private citizen who hits what basically amounts to a lottery ticket. They are an annualized lottery ticket. They make a lot of money. It's very profitable to own a franchise. I don't know, man. I get pretty nihilistic about them pretty quick. It just feels like the clock was ticking from the day he threw his first pitch. You hope he racks up a bunch of accolades. And really, though, I think any hope that they're going to build a team around him stems from, is Bubba Chandler going to be really good and really precocious and really cost-controlled, too?
But we're not that far removed from people like Jim Leland coming on our show and saying the Pirates are the last team that the Dodgers or the Yankees or somebody like that would want to see in the playoffs because of Skenes and Jones and Keller.
But I feel like the bloom came off the Keller and Jones roses to some extent.
Bloom? I mean, the entire garden got some kind of toxic pesticide in there.
Flies.
And yes, and just devoured and killed the entire thing. It's there was a lot of optimism for the Pirates, I think, even by most objective and even some fans that had turned their back on the organization. There was a feeling this summer that we were on the cusp of something really cool that might not only be a one-off thing that was sustainable for years to come, led by Paul Skenes, And I just watching the reaction to him winning the Rookie of the Year and the anticipation for his Cy Young potentially tonight, which he won't win, there's none of that. There's like a deep sadness or more anger.
It's melancholy.
Yes.
It's a hollow
that
victory.
has taken hold.
Wow. He's the Rookie of the Year. You could make a case for him to win NL Cy Young. Maybe he'll win Cy Young next year. You know what? It's the old bit. I forget who it was who won something. Like some guy, I think it was like David Duval. I was reading about, the golfer. He won like the British Open. He won a major. And then he was just like flying back. And he said, is this all there is? There's like this story. Like, is this it? Oof. Well, he's explained it further. And it's not as like grim sounding. But it's still, as a fan, you feel like, all right, Paul Skenes is awesome. Oh, my God, this is like a generational all-time great player potentially in the making. And are the individual achievements all there is?
Donnie, I feel like I've heard you 100 times on this station preface what you were about to say about the Pirates with, I've always been a glass half full guy for them. I've always found the sunny side of things. I've always looked for the rainbow on the other side of the hurricane. You always say things like that. So has the offseason, has it in having Skenes back in the news, are you back to thinking positively about them?
I mean, I'm going to wait until we get through this whole process, but I mean, they really do have to do something that actually proves themselves to us for once, instead of just all of us thinking, man, maybe they'll actually do something now. They have basically baseball's version of a golden ticket. Would you agree that that's what Skenes is?
They have the most valuable and expensive commodity in the entire sport at as cheap of a price as you could possibly have it.
But
they've got the best bargain in baseball.
Yeah, but I think we are reaching a point with so many fans, even the most optimistic, where every year we're waiting for a true effort to be made, and it's not happening. They have to do it now. They have a very small amount of time in the grand scheme of things to get something done here, to really make some noise, or else all hope is going to be lost basically forever. Because how often are we going to be able to say the Pirates have a generational player who almost immediately came up to the major league roster and became maybe the best pitcher in baseball? I don't think we'll ever say that again.
And so you said that they need to, but do you think they will?
I mean, they haven't had a past for me to have confidence they will.
I have a question for both of you.
We can talk about it all we want, but until they actually do it.
Question for both of you.
But I'll hear your question in a second, Chris, but to be fair, I don't hear anyone saying this is the time they actually do it. I don't think anybody.
All the guys that they're counting on are guys that are already, generally speaking, in the organization. No one's talking about big acquisitions. Are they going to, we assuming that he definitively will play at least 3 more full seasons here, probably 4.
Okay.
I think so.
I think 3 more.
3 more for sure, and then that set the 5th year halfway through is, I feel like, when his trade value is pretty high because he's not a pure rental.
Uh-huh.
So let's just say 3. Will they win 90 games in any of those 3 seasons now?
No, I used to say he was going to be the guy that was on the mound for their next playoff win. I don't feel that way anymore.
I said he would win their next playoff game.
That's literally what I just said.
No, you said he'd be on the mound. I said he'd win the next playoff game.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, somebody, a middle reliever, could get the decision in Pony's hypothetical.
Do you still feel that way, Don?
Are they going to win 90 games in a season while he is on their team? Let's just say the next 3 years.
God, I mean, I want to say yes. It's just so hard.
What else in the infrastructure of their team makes you think yes?
You are like in agony over there. You look like Cavalli when he was interviewing Mike Williams in Washington, and it looked like the turd was halfway out his rear end. That's what you look like right now trying to answer that question. You look like you've got labor pains going on over there. He just asked you if they're going to win 90 games over the next 3 years.
I'm going to say yes, they sneak it one time.
He's sweating.
This guy Rich just tweeted, I think people feel the way they do about the Pirates because we all know Skenes will end up playing his way to the Dodgers or Yankees unless the ownership mentality changes. I'm not even talking about him eventually getting traded. I take that as a fact of life. I really do.
It's just, it's maximizing his career while he's in Pittsburgh.
For the 3, and I think if they actually somehow did maximize it, it would be 4 full seasons he would be here after this year. That's what the question is about. Like, forget about, are they going to sign a guy like him to a $600 or $700 million contract, which is what he'll command if he's healthy and he hits the open market. That doesn't even remotely enter into my thought process.